Hello everyone. Today I am actually starting a different type of video. It ain't going to be about the Sanderson sister dollhouse. It will be something related to Hocus Pocus. And not only that, but I'm having to use my phone to record instead of the camera because, like I said in the last video, my camera was barely wanting to work and it finally quit. So I actually threw that away and I'm just using my cell phone. So it's kind of like starting over, like trying to learn how to do videos again because I've never videoed with my phone and it's kind of early in the day, so I probably sound funny or different. And I'm sure this phone picks up sound and everything a lot better. But what I'm going to work on today is a piece to the devil's costume. Now, in the movie, they go see Master, and I was noticing in the pictures that I looked at on the internet, it looks like his little pitchfork is actually made from a tennis racket. So that is what I've started with. And I actually started this a few weeks ago. I just found me a tennis racket and I cut it off up here. And then I've added this little piece in the middle. And it's just a piece of thin plywood that I've cut to the shape, and I will try to insert a picture of him with his pitchfork so that you can see what his looks like. But if you look at it real close, you can definitely tell that it is a tennis racket. All right, so I played that back to see how it looked and sounded, and I've got my camera flipped to like selfie side, and I feel like it would be even better if I would film it from the other side, but either way, it's going to film it. So I just like having it on the selfie mode so that I can see what I'm doing. But there's one thing about this plywood that I wished I would have done. Like this little piece of plywood that I've cut out, I wished I would have taken a Dremel and cut a little groove down in the tennis racket so that that could have sat right down in it. But instead, I just like filled it full of hot glue and just sat it directly onto this piece. But and then I even attached a little wire, um, drilled a hole through it. Or actually, I just brought the wire up over it. I don't know if you can really see that because it's under that super glue, but I just put a wire around it to help hold it better. But if I'd have drilled that little ridge in there, I could have just sat this down in there and it would have been a lot stronger, but it's pretty strong the way I've got it. So I'm just going to leave it like it is. And I don't mind the hot glue having that texture because there's going to be a texture on here anyway. So that's pretty simple. And I don't know if a lot of people's ever noticed his tennis racket, because his tennis racket pitchfork, you only see it for like a few seconds. I think just when he's on the porch, he's got his arms up and you just barely can see it. But the only way I knew it was a tennis racket is because there's a really good picture on the internet and it shows it really, really close. So, anyway, that's what I've got so far. And I don't even have my stuff together. I need to get all this stuff out, laid out, so I can work on this better. So let me get all my things together, and I need to pull up that picture. But see, that's a problem because filming with my phone, I can't use it to look at the picture. So now I'm going to have to look at it while I stop the video, then come back and do something with this. Um, so I wished I had a picture of it to where I could look at it right now, but I don't. So I'm going to have to stop filming so I can look at that picture. Now, see, I got to get used to this. I don't even have my tripod, so it's just really weird. But I feel so weird videoing because I ain't videoed in like 2 weeks. Um, but okay, so I went and got the stuff, and from what I can tell, he's just got these little pointy parts glued up here. Now, this is not the shape. I've got to cut this down to a better shape. but I've just got this really thick cardboard. Well, it ain't really thick, it's just really strong for some reason. I don't know what kind of cardboard this is, but it's not just like a normal cardboard box. But see, this really is not good because I don't have my picture, and I like having my picture to look at. But I feel like I should look at the picture and cut one of them, and then I can come back and cut the others because I want to make sure I get the shape right. And I noticed that looks pretty good actually. But I noticed the shape, like these little things, they're not perfect. They're just kind of glued on the back, and you can actually tell they're glued on the back side because you can just sort of see this square. I mean, it don't look like they're on top of it. They're back here just like this, and you'll see that when I post that picture. So I'm just going to go ahead and wing it. I don't care if it's absolutely perfect because nobody knows how this looks anyway. Like I said, in the movie, it's just such a quick little scene that he uses it. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut these. They don't have to be perfect. And one thing I love about Hocus Pocus with the character and the mom character and the dad character, the costumes they wear look really homemade. And of course, that would be realistic. You know, I mean, if a mom and a dad just dressed up for a Halloween party, of course, you know, especially back in the day in the 90s and earlier, a lot of people did make their own costumes. So it's just I love how they use stuff like a tennis racket, or like with the mama with her little cone bra. You know, she uses the funnels, and even the strap going around her neck is like a little bungee cord. And I'll talk about that costume too and explain what they used when they made hers. And um, so I'm excited to make this. Now, of course, I ain't really into the devil, and I can't believe I'm making my daddy dress up like this for Halloween, but here I am making a costume for it. But I'm just cutting. I don't know. I'm not even showing that. But anyway, I just cut them out, lay them up together, lay the two parts together, and then just cut around it. And they don't have to be perfect because, like I said, it looked really homemade, real amateur-like. So if mine looks kind of cruddy, that's kind of my excuse. It's like, well, it's supposed to look cruddy. But I'll just cut these out and probably hot glue these to the backs of these little. I think this one has a piece. I'll have to look. I don't know if it's just on these two parts or if it's I think there is one in the middle, so I'm gonna have to look and make sure, but I'll glue these on. And then when I paint this, I noticed it looks like there's some grit to it. Like to me, it looks like there's sand or something mixed in with the paint when they paint it, because of course it's all going to be painted red. And if you look real close, it looks like there's a texture, and it looks to me like sand, which I'm sure it's not sand. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to use a bag of sand and just mix that in with my paint when I paint this. So I'll get these glued on, and then there's actually one more little thing that we have to put on here before I can paint it. Alright, so there is something I noticed. I've got these cut in almost a perfect triangle shape, and I noticed on his that the corners were a little bit more rounded. They're not that pointy. So I'm just going to kind of dull these corners up a little bit. And then I looked back at it, and there's definitely a gritty looking texture on here. And so that's where I came up with the sand idea. I'm going to mix that sand in with that because when I looked back, it's definitely gritty, and I don't know why. But anyway, if that's how it looks, then that's how I'm going to do it. And then I'm just going to glue these on here like this. And then it also looks like there's like a little piece of something. I've got this little insulator stuff. This goes around like your windows and things. It looks like there's something like this going around here, all the way around, just all the way up to this other end. And I don't know if something like this is on it, but that's just what it looks like to me. So I'm gonna glue this around just on this part here, on the front part, and then I think that'll be it. And I actually wanted to spray paint this, but I don't have any spray paint, and I'm really bummed. So I don't know if I'm going to finish this or if I'll just try to finish it later, because I just think spray paint will look a lot better. Plus it'll be a little bit glossy. So anyways, I'll get this glued on, get these little triangles glued on, and then I'll try to figure out what kind of glue I'm going to use. Alright, so okay, so I've got that done, and I think that looks so good. Oh my gosh. Now these little cardboard pieces, instead of putting them on the back, if you can sort of see, let me get it, instead of putting these on the back side here, I put them on the front. And on this one in the middle, I put it on the back, but the two on the sides I put on the front, because this little window stripping stuff kind of went over the front like this, if you can sort of tell that. It's on the front. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense, but this is on the front of the tennis racket. The window trim is on the front of the little triangle, so it's stacked that way. Because after I looked at it and I held these triangles back here, it just kind of set it too far back, and I thought, well, maybe it's not on the back. It looks like it's probably on the front. And then you can tell that window stripping is on the front, because I could tell there was some sort of a stripping here, I guess just to kind of cap it off and finish it off or something. So that's just what I came up with. And again, I wish so bad I had the picture just to kind of compare to what I'm trying to say here to show you. But it looks really good. And then even in, I'm going to try to catch the glare. See, I've put hot glue here. I just took my hot glue gun and just kind of squiggled and drew some lines of hot glue on there to give those little triangles some texture, because if you look real close at the picture, it's got some texture to it, and it almost looks like they've done the same thing that I did with just some glue. They might have got glue on there and then tried to just smear it off to smooth it out, and it's left this little texture to it. So I think this is going to look really good once it's all painted. But there's one more final step I want to do before I paint this, and that is to take some Mod Podge and that sand and just sort of paint it around down in this part and up in this part, because if you look at the picture, you can definitely tell there's some sort of a gritty, sandy looking texture in the paint. So I want to get that sand put on there with some Mod Podge. Probably, I'm not going to just sprinkle the sand on it. I'm going to actually mix it in with the Mod Podge. And then, like I said, I'm hoping to spray paint it, but I just don't think I've got any spray paint. So I may just have to brush paint it with acrylics. So I'll just have to see what I've got, but I'll go ahead and get that sand put on here. And I'm actually doing this early in the morning. This is actually Friday morning, and I've got a place I've got to go, so I'm just trying to rush this video and get it done. But I definitely wanted to get something posted today. Hopefully I'll get it on there today. Um, but since I didn't have a video last week, so anyway, I'll try to get this finished up, and then we'll check it out and see how it looks. And I'll take some pictures, of course, and show at the end of the video like I always do. But let me get this painted on here so it can dry, and hopefully I can get to painting it. Alright, so I decided to film a little bit of this just so you could sort of see it. And I don't know if it's clearing up. Okay, there it is. Wait a minute. I don't know how I feel about this texture, but I mean, I think it's okay. I just might have put a little too much sand in the mixture. Alright, so I got that done. And if you can sort of see how that looks, it looks pretty good, I think. I like it. I'm just looking at it like, I don't know, because I think it looks pretty good, and I think I've got everything done on it. I'm just looking at it, trying to think if there's anything else it needs, but I don't think it needs anything else. But I got that sand on it, and it's a little funky. It's a little more sand than I need, I think. I think I need to wipe some of this off the back. But, I mean, this is completely like an experiment. I mean, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just making this up as I go. Just making it look how I think the real one looks. But I think it looks pretty good. And I got excited because I went and looked for some paint, and I found this, but I don't think there's anything in it. So I'm going to at least try and spray just a little bit of it, but of course I need to let this dry before I do. So it's pretty much done. I just got to paint it, and if I don't get it painted right now, I'll just wait, because I really want it to be spray paint. So I'm just going to have to run to like some store and get some spray paint, because that's really what I want to use for this. So anyway, there, it's pretty much done other than painting it. And if I don't show me videoing the paint, you'll see it in the pictures at the end. So that is my little devil's pitchfork for the Hocus Pocus master. And of course, like I think I mentioned it earlier, my daddy's going to be this, and then my mama is going to be the Medusa character, his wife, Medusa, with the little curlers in her hair. So that's something else, which I probably won't show me fixing that one, because there's really not much to it other than a bathrobe and hair curlers. But I will come back to this costume later in another video, because I want to make his cape and his horns. And actually, I might show the horns now. I don't know if I'll show how I made them, but let me grab those a minute. Alright, so I'm going to sit this down a minute. So I got the horns. These actually came... Ooh, wow, look how sparkly those are. I'm turned on by little sparkly stuff. But I got these horns. They look like red leather before I got them, before I put the sequins on. And the sequins are actually... you can buy those little rolls of sequins that come on a string at like a craft store, but they're usually about $4 a pack. Just for one roll, it's usually about $2 and something with tax and all. They're usually about $4. And then I found these Christmas ornaments at the Dollar Tree for like $1.25 for two. And they have those same strings of sequins wrapped around these ornaments. and you just have to peel this off, and you actually get more off of this than you do a string that you buy at a craft store. Plus it's cheaper. So if you need sequins on a string, of course this time of year you're not going to find these, but every year at Christmas they have these ornaments at the Dollar Tree. So that's what I get when I need sequins, because they're cheaper, and as you can see, they're very good quality. They're real sparkly, really pretty. So that's just a really easy way to do sequins instead of getting them on the rolls. And as you're seeing, they come right off of there, and they do have a little bit of glue left on the back side, but you can pick that off. It picks off pretty easy. But I love how sparkly that looks. I had not held that up in front of the camera yet, so look, check that out. But anyway, I just glued those little strings around until I got these completely wrapped in the sequins. And that's pretty much how his looks, kinda. I know his has sequins on them. So anyways, there's the little horns. And another thing, I got this star from the Dollar Tree, and it's kind of the same way. Now his cape has a star on each side. So I got this star because you can actually peel this off, and when I make the cape, well, I just got to peel this off, but it comes right off. And anyway, I'll have one for this side of the cape, and then I'll have this side for this side of the cape. And that just makes a really, that might be a little big. I don't know if it's too big or not. I think it'll be okay. But anyway, I just know he had two shiny sequin stars on his cape here. And then he had little stars all over the back of the cape. And then I'll get into this more later, but I just want to go ahead and show that this stuff came from the Dollar Tree. They've got this little garland, and I was just going to take these little stars off of here and sew them to the cape. So that's going to be my little inexpensive Dollar Tree devil cape. But I'm really turned on by how sparkly that is. I just love how that looks. But anyway, there's that. And I'll get this painted up and then show all this in the pictures at the end of the video.